Hi, welcome back to our Lent series on Back to Sabbath. Just to give you a bit of context of what Sabbath is, if that's a new word for you. Sabbath is a word that's taken from the Bible. So in creation, God made the world in 6 days, but on the seventh day, it says God rested from all that he had done. And he set apart that day and called it holy. And he encourages us to do the same. So to have one day set apart in the week that is a day called holy, that's about resting in God's presence. So today, before we go any further, I'd love you to read Genesis 1 now, or maybe at some point through the day to read Genesis 1. A word that God gave me at the beginning of the year was about travelling slow and strong. So rather than trying to rush everything and go fast, that actually there was real treasure in moving slower, but in moving slower that we would move stronger. And as I've been reflecting upon that word and thinking about it, I was just encouraged to start re-engaging with what the Sabbath is and how we can have that blessing and live that blessing in a week in our own lives. So a few days ago, I felt like God was speaking to me about creation. God created the world over a number of different days. It took him 6 days to create. And the thing that God was speaking to me through that was the fact that he didn't create the whole of creation in one go. I mean, I guess he could have, but he took his time. There was a pace to creation. He chose to create it over a number of days. Another thing that spoke to me about it was that from day 3 onwards, each day he declared it good. It said the Lord saw that it was good. And that really spoke to me about my own life. Do I stop at the end of the day and look at what I've done with God and say it is good? And so that was a real challenge to me, to celebrate the things that I have done. The other thing that I noticed was that God didn't wait for creation to be complete before he said it was good. He, even in the incompleteness, even before creation was finished, he stopped and said it was good. And that also encouraged me to think about the fact that I can see that things are good even before they're complete, even before the task is finished. And so as we think about the Sabbath, as we look to God in how we can learn from his ways, I think it's really important, one, for us to learn from his pattern, which is to take a day of rest in a week, but also, even in the busyness, even in the incompleteness of life, to be able to say over each day, it is good.